Okay, so this was an eye roll. The general manager of the Blazers, Joe Cronin, came out yesterday after meeting Dame and said, great dialogue. Remain committed to building a winner around Dame. Oh, boy. Then Sam Amick of The Athletic reports, yeah, the Blazers are trying to upgrade it, but they're finding it very difficult to pull out the kind of moves they need to be a viable contender. Forget championships. It feels like Dame needs an intervention. Or maybe the Blazers GM Joe Cronin. Guys, fellas, you're not close to being a competitive Western Conference team. If you don't follow the Blazers, let me describe their roster in a nutshell. A pretty talented, injury-prone big, Nurkic. A fascinating, dynamic teenager, Scoot Henderson. Two promising young players, one Anthony Simons about ready for a breakout. A solid forward who needs to be re-signed, and Dame, last 2 years, can't stay healthy. In a league where increasingly size wins in May and June. If you take Dame and Nurkic out, they don't currently have a player signed for next year over like 24 years old. Like it's all kids, all in the backcourt. And by the way, they're talented. They're fun. I think next year the team could be fun with or without Dame. It's a fun team. It's not a great team. It is a play-in team. Nurkic can't stay healthy. Last 2 years, Dame can't, although I think with the rest going into next year, he should be fine. And a lot of hope and promise in kids. Intervention time. It's not working. Why can't somebody rip the Band-Aid? Rick Bucher on our show yesterday theorized why.
They're playing a game of chicken. Damian doesn't want to be the guy to say, all right, I'm out, because that would sort of undermine his whole brand and persona in Portland. And Portland, meanwhile, does not want to say, you know what, thanks, Damian, but we're moving on. If Portland says, look, yeah, we decided we need to move on. The money's too much, and we don't think we can get there with Damian, there's going to be backlash in Portland. You know Portland. That is a fierce, loyal town, and they love Damian.
It's not that loyal. I work there. They want to win like everybody else. Let's not make Portland into a city that's more loyal than anyone else. They want winners. That's all they care about. They're sports fans. They have lives, boyfriends, girlfriends, marriages, kids. They want to go to the arena and spend money, and those tickets are increasingly expensive, and they want to see a winner and a team that can battle in the West, go up against the Suns and the Warriors. I hear this all the time. This town is really loyal. Not really. Tickets are now so expensive. I grew up in an era, baseball tickets were $4. You could sneak into the Kingdom, get a good one, sit down close to the field, $8. Those days are over. I bought my daughter a couple of tickets to go to a baseball game. It was $900. They were good seats. Dodger Stadium's amazing. Hot dog, parking, make it $1,000. The point being is, it takes courage. The Blazers have become the stand-up comedian using 6-year-old material. You guys hear about the Ice Bucket Challenge? Get new stuff. What's the deal with airline food? Time for new material. Go look, 11 years, 5 first-round exits. Yeah. 3 missed the playoffs. 8 of 11 years, over quickly. People want to be around in May and June. Rip the Band-Aid off. Intervention time. Everybody knows this isn't working. Too young, too brittle, lacking courage. Portland's no different than anywhere else. They want to go toe-to-toe with the Warriors and the Kings and the Nuggets and the Celtics and the Bucks and think they have a chance to not only beat them that night, but win a series. All right, I saw this story. Interesting. So I'm not a fan of Hard Knocks. I liked it when it first started, but 7 of the last 10 teams on Hard Knocks missed the playoffs. I went back and looked at every team. Now they have a Hard Knocks in the middle of the season, but I went to the preseason Hard Knock teams. I yellowed anyone that missed the playoffs. It's over half the teams. And then a lot of lost in the wild card round. The way I look at it, it doesn't make a bad team good or a good team bad. But if your marriage is already rocky, it'll get you to a divorce attorney. It's not great. And especially with a team that's got a impulsive owner, check Jets, a young coach on the hot seat, check Jets, a prickly older quarterback, new to the franchise, check, media intensity, New York, check, really, really tough division, check, brutal early schedule when you're trying to kind of create inertia and momentum. Check, 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 check. It's less than ideal. It's not going to make a good team bad. But teams do not need HBO. Used to, don't now. You can tell that because head coaches and GMs are begging not to be on this show. So years ago, I worked at another sports company, 4 letters ESPN. And the president then, George Bodenheimer, nice man, smart guy, created the Longhorn Network because Texas had won a national title. They were very popular. And the initial reaction from the Texas rivals was, this is unfair. This is outrageous. What an advantage. 1 month in, Mac Brown hated it. Mac Brown told anybody close to the program, it's going to drive me out of here. I'm aging by the day. Football's about discretion, deception, being discreet, covert, hiding stuff. It's not about having cameras in meetings. Mac Brown hated it. It ended up being a disadvantage. You had to kind of act differently. I know you don't think you'd act differently if you put cameras all around your marriage or your business, but you would. You'd act differently. You don't want that. You want authentic. You want real. You want honest. Some of this stuff is ugly. I've been in football locker rooms. It's not pretty. I've been in football front offices. There's hard discussions that you do not want on camera. No. And so, again, I don't think it's going to make the Jets, who will be a good team, terrible. But the Jets are already facing young, major question marks on the O-line, the first potentially average to bad O-line of Aaron Rodgers' career. Aaron dealing with young, promising, but young receivers. He can be prickly near the end of his career. Impulsive owners, coach on the hot seat, New York media. I mean, New York media had Buck Showalter. He was like Stephen Hawking a year ago. Now he's a bum. Now he's an idiot. Now they want him gone. It's just different in New York. The intensity, there's multiple sports talk radio stations, half a dozen big columnists and newspaper coverage. It's different in New York. Lived around it for 10 years. Different than even other big cities like Boston and Los Angeles and Detroit and Miami. So I don't like Hard Knocks. Don't like it. I don't think companies or leagues should be in the business of distracting their business partners. All things, good things, must come to an end. All right, J-Mac. A lot of stuff today.